Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. Member of the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Go to podbros.com and listen to some other podcasts you might be interested to or into. It's 9 a.m. I'm sorry. I'm still waking up. And don't forget to go to our sponsors, Trap and Roll Soap Company, as well as Tape Armor. Get your body clean. Keep your fingers safe. Everything will be fine. And don't forget to go to bigjujitsu.com and check out some of our other episodes. I'm Rob.
I'm Devin.
And it's been another week. A lot of stuff's happened too still, man. This has been like, even for a week off that I've taken, it still feels like there's a ton of shit going on.
It's crazy how even the slow weeks when you're not worried, like about, well, not necessarily worried, but busy with a work or training or a fight like you just got done with, that you have time to relax, but then it's just more open time to be busy with other shit, you know?
Yeah. I did a lot of house cleaning, and I actually had to make like some real mental decisions. I know this is I tried to stay on diet, which didn't look very apparent on my fight pictures, but wake up and be like, well, you know, I haven't really destroyed a breakfast in a long time. Like, what am I going to have? So pancakes was the order of like,
Oh,
so, like,
fuck,
yeah,
dude.
you just sit there and
Breakfast
you're
is
like,
like my favorite food.
it's the best, man. Like, it is the best meal ever made. Like, you have egg. Like, I don't know why breakfast food is so good. It just is.
I think because it's kind of like Mexican food. It's all good because it can be combined no matter which way you want to put. Like you put syrup on anything, you can put butter on anything. Like for the most part, you can put like chili or ketchup on anything other than pancakes and waffles. You know, it's just hella good.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's true. You can combine it. So you can have like steak, which is normally like a dinner meal, with eggs and have pancakes on the side, or you like French toast. So I mean, that's probably like Waffle House is popular at all times of the night, and
Seriously.
drunk me is like, I want pancakes and waffles and a cheeseburger or something like that.
That's how Denny's always fucks me up because they always say you can have two pancakes or you can get unlimited for $4 more. $4 and shit. But after three pancakes, I'm full as fuck.
Yeah,
You know?
it's the worst thing. Like, it's a food that like you eat it and you're like, that's not bad. But as soon as you start drinking something with it, all fucking expands in your stomach. Fuck, should not spend that extra $4. I'm getting ripped off now.
That's exactly it. Those things are like fucking sponges.
Yeah, it'd be like those like weird conspiracy theories about how certain like buffet places, they'll be like, it's $30 all you can eat, and you've got like crazy shit out there, and you've prepped for 2 or 3 days to like, make sure you're hungry for this. You go after one plate and you're full. And it's like they probably put shit in here that makes it me feel fuller or something like that. I doubt that's true, but I wonder if
Sometimes
that's the
it
case.
is though. It could be.
Fucking weird ass sketchy places. There's a lot of sketchy businesses out there.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Leading into what we are going to talk about next.
Exactly. So, a gentleman by the name of Kevin Scott, a jiu-jitsu guy out of Arizona. So this past weekend, first of all, we're not going to knock anybody who competed because those tournaments, they're still tough. Still got tough guys on them. Still got, tough matches and all that other good stuff. But Kevin Scott went to, oh, excuse me. See, I'm still waking up. Coffee's kicking my ass. He went to the NABJJF Nationals, right? So I'm going to read what he posted. This was posted on Reddit by, as usual, I'm going to forget the person's name, but it was posted on Reddit. So this is what Kevin had to say about the tournament. Definitely some issues at the tournament. Hold on, was this it? Yes. Definitely some issues at the tournament today, but our competitors still did great. Kids went out and had a really good time securing a 5th place team victory. Good job. That's what I'm saying. Good job to you guys. Sorry to the kids that were unable to compete due to NABJJF's ridiculous gi and clothing rules. Also, our adults meddled. Okay, this is the wrong one. I'm a fucking idiot. Let's see. Really? Okay.
It sounded like the right one too.
It did. No, but here it is. Really disappointed in the North American Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation tournament. See, we have really good integrity and, make sure we have our resources ready to go on the Big Jiu-Jitsu show.
For real.
Yeah. Start over again. Really disappointed in this North American Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation tournament. So many mistakes. Worst is they kept telling kids their gi was illegal and making them buy from vendors at the tournament. I asked 6 other school owners if they had the same problem, and they all had anywhere from 1/3 to 1/2 of their kids told their gis were illegal, and many were forced to buy a breakpoint gi or not compete. Seems a bit fishy to me. Okay, so this actually had blown up after he'd posted it, had a few people comment saying like, "Hey, blah 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 blah." Our kids had to do the same thing. Then somebody threw out, "Guess who owns both?"
Hmm.
So is it? I'm not. All right. I'm not saying that there is a mass conspiracy between NA, BJJF, and Breakpoint Fightwear, even though they're owned by the same person, that they're just like, hey, disqualify as many kids as you want because then the guy go buy geese up there. But I do think that it's kind of fishy if there's a whole bunch, like one or two I get because people show up with fucked up shit all the time. Like white top, blue pants, that's a big no. Can't do that. Go find a replacement. And then what else was there? Like I get that, but for the amount of from other people that we've heard so far, that's kind of fishy, man. That's actually really sketchy.
It brings up so many different questions too. One question in this is your ghee company really not doing that well to the point that you need to force people at the tournaments to buy them? Like, are you not doing that well? Also, like you would think that these tournaments are making some money. So like if these tournaments are making money, why would anyone be like trying to be a vulture to sell their own geese? You know what I mean? It's just like you said, it's too fishy. There's too much like weird thrown out there to force kids to go buy a new gi. Like especially kids too. Like it's one thing to be strict with adults, but honestly, it's like you're saying, I get the different colored tops and bottoms if that was even a scenario too. But it's like to be that stringent with kids that just want to go compete, that are learning and all this stuff. It's like come on now.
Yeah, it is a little interesting, and to me, like I thought about it a lot last night too after I read it. That it very well could not have been just a case of you know, oh well, what a shame that your gi is out of regulations. We have a conveniently placed breakpoint gi location right next to the check-in table. Like I don't think that's the case. It might have actually been just you've got like the ref who doesn't give a shit. Everybody's seen the ref who doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm here to collect my $80 for the day. I'm a fucking referee. I'm gonna play on my phone while little kids are trying to kill each other, and then call it a day. I got $80. I'm gonna go party, do whatever, right? If we very well could have they could have experienced that guy at the bullpen check-in when he just like throws the fucking metal measuring device. I was like, yeah, this is out of regs or whatever. Like, yeah, this is not within tolerance, and go buy a new gi. And just wouldn't hear any of it because he doesn't give a shit because he's there to get his $80 for the day, and just said fuck it, like whatever. He did not give a shit. That's a possibility too, but it just because of all the things that line up with it, it makes it look super fucking sketchy.
On top of the multiple sources where there wasn't just one or two people jumping on a bandwagon, this happened to several different people that we know of, and I'm
Yeah.
sure there's probably more that maybe we haven't heard from.
Yeah, because that's just a small group. Like, I mean, Kevin Scott, he seems to be a pretty well-known guy in Arizona, but like you said, who doesn't? Like, who hasn't posted on social media that we haven't heard from? And I know the Reddit thread had some other comments about it. I might pull it up while we're discussing it a little bit more, but it's to me, it's just either it's a guy who really does not give a shit the about the rules, and they were just like, whatever, I just want my $80 and leave, and or it was just a case of the guy who owns it was like, hey, disqualify a bunch of kids for their geese, so they have to come buy some. But yeah, oh yeah, hey, it was posted by False Facade, so I apologize, False Facade, for not giving you a shout out for this, but some other stuff did come up. One of our yellow belt, this is from the quiet one here. One of our yellow belt kids competing from our gym had to buy a gi. He had only one fight and he won it in under 30 seconds. So $90 to register, then another 90 or 100 for a gi to compete once. The ref wasn't paying attention. Well, the other kid won by armbar stoppage. The crowd booed. And the ref changed the decision, but ridiculous not paying attention to something that happened 5 seconds before. My daughter also was told to buy a belt. So another $15 spent with Breakpoint. Wow. That's wild. That is wild, man. They're like, I don't know, man.
it's so strict. You would like it's for it's there's too many things that just you would we could say they add up, or we could just say that there's so many coincidences.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could, and honestly, like it just the belt thing could still. It's still that guy who checks in. He's like, "Hey, the belt looks like shit. Go get a new one. I don't care." Just walks
Yeah.
off.
I feel like I'm this ain't no conspiracy to me. I feel like they're they're trying to charge these people if they ask for just ridiculous bullshit.
Put on the tinfoil hats, ladies and gentlemen. The shit's getting real crazy. I mean, somebody did also point out, like, are you telling me that a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu tournament federation is doing shady things to make more money? Looking at some of the other ones out there. I mean, honestly, like all these tournaments, a lot of these tournaments are a for profit business. And I mean, I get it. You know, people got to eat. People have to, like I like living in a place. I like eating. I like having health insurance and shit like that. I get that it's a business. I don't know where you draw the line though when you instead of doing it like, a martial artist, you start just fucking gouging prices and then, doing this shit like we need to move all these gis, disqualify fucking everybody. If it looks like it's even slightly wrong, disqualify them. And like, tell them they have to buy a new gi or something like that. I don't know if that actually came up, but then that goes with my whole thing of like the more people you involve in something like that, the easier it is to get out in the open. Like someone's like, "Oh yeah, the dude who owns it told us to do this." Like we might hear from somebody, but depending upon how many people, if it was a conspiracy, but I hate using that term. If it was just like a way for them to make more money, we'll probably hear about it from one of the people who work the event, not just
Oh yeah.
like, people who experience it. I'm not discounting their experiences. I just find it, I'm like on the fence with this one. I can see both sides. I can see the kid who just like doesn't give a shit, and then I could see a guy who's like, fuck, my geese aren't selling. I need to sell more geese. How do I do that? Oh yeah, I can just have the only gi company that's allowed here be my company and then make them come and buy it. But I don't
That's
know.
what I was curious about.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever experienced. Have you been to or heard of any of like the breakpoint stuff or?
So, okay, as far as Breakpoint goes, I don't know anything about Breakpoint. I know that like 6 or 7 years ago they were more popular, especially with the kids. They would sell a lot of kids geese. I know that for a fact. And they had some like nicer geese for these also that were more blank looking and stuff. But then obviously the last 4 or 5 years, Show World just like blew up even more. You know what I mean? It's like them, what Hyperfly and like whatever else. Like there's a few other like select brands that are just kind of taking over all of it for the most part. I can see where they might potentially be hurting, and I could be completely wrong and ignorant. And this is not like some specific like fact of what I'm saying, but I'm curious about if you said this before. Forgive me if I didn't hear it. Were they selling other gis at this tournament, or is they like kind of like an exclusively like breakpoint? Like I don't know.
What they didn't say specifically, but what it's being made to seem like is that it was only breakpoint geese that are being sold at this tournament. And that kind of makes sense because when I went to SJJIF, which is owned by NABJ or whatever, the only
Mhm.
people selling gi stuff there was Breakpoint. There weren't people selling apparel and stuff
Okay.
like that out there. Actually, it does remind me because we had a kid, Aaron. He had to buy shorts because his shorts weren't legal, and what was it? Our coach Andre was like, "What the fuck? We had these designed exactly like this set of shorts so that they could be legal." And the guy was like, "Oh, sorry, need new shorts." Shady.
I think it is. I think it sounds like a Ponzi scheme to me. Is what it sounds like. And what's funny about this is that like I see Breakpoint all the time. Like they have the sponsored ads too, which is cool. But this is one thing that I do think is cool. I'm not like trying to shit on Breakpoint, but I'm kind of trying to shit on Breakpoint. Like it is cool that they have the sponsored ads. They have the sponsored ads on Facebook all the time, and they're willing to give people sponsorships, which I get it. Like I like the idea behind it because they're investing into their consumers. 'Cause they get it. It makes sense what they're doing. But I don't like. if this is true, what's going on with the tournament? You know what I mean? They have been like I have been seeing a lot more of their ads lately into that. Maybe they are trying to make a push to make a little bit more money. I guess that makes sense now. It would give the support behind my thought that maybe they're not making as much as they were previous years.
Now, in all fairness, I will out myself here as being one of the guys that I got an email from Breakpoint. They're like, "Hey, we're looking for ambassadors," and I jumped on the hype train, and I
Oh
got
yeah, my brother too. My brother too.
yeah, and I got 20% off on stuff, which helps because like a lot of people do talk shit about it, but at the same time, somebody also pointed out that unless you're like Buchecha or Andre Galval or Keenan Cornelius, the sponsorship stuff you're going to get is not going to be the sponsorship stuff they get. Unless you are serious. In Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, sponsorship stuff is fucking tough. And, the real top guys, those are the ones who are getting free gear. They're getting, all their shit paid for. They're getting money to train. Like, that's very, very rare. So if you're a sponsored athlete, quote unquote. I mean, the application process for Breakpoint wasn't that tough. They're like, "What are you?" I'm like, "I'm Rob Austin." Right, congratulations, you're fucking sponsored, somewhat. But it's good because that is kind of like a way for people to feel like, oh, I'm sponsored by Breakpoint. They get to say that. It's kind of cool. And then they do get a little bit of a discount on there, which is nice. But, a lot of people immediately jump and start hating on it too because they don't feel that's a real sponsorship. But I'm like, who the fuck are you sponsored by, man? Like, you better be repping Show Your Roll and shit before you fucking
I
start
know.
talking shit about some dude's, percentage off of stuff. And they also give like discounts for tournament
That's huge.
registration.
That's a really big one actually.
Yeah,
My brother he did the same thing and he was telling me about it and I was like, "Oh, that's sick." That is one thing that is like a really good idea. The fact that they were like investing, even though it's just a percentage, like that, the fact that they were willing to go out and give a bunch of people that's huge. Like it's a
it
really,
is.
really big deal.
It is.
And that's like a really, really smart move.
But at the
If they're
same
doing
time,
this thing with the tournaments, fuck
That's
them.
that's
I'm
what I'm
just
about to
kidding. No,
say.
fuck
Yeah,
it.
yeah. If they're doing this for real though, that's really fucking shitty. Hey, that's such a bad thing, man. But oh man, that's so bad. But
Breakpoint just starts some like huge internet beef with Rob, and they're like, "Fuck Rob Austin." They put him all over the Instagram. They're just pretty much like blasting you everywhere.
cool, man. Like
That'd be
I
crazy.
really don't care. It's been a week full of haters as it is.
For real, like, yo,
Oh
I'm a
yeah,
world champion, bitch. How's my ass taste?
yeah. And what's funny is none of the hate came from the guy I fought. So yeah, me and him are cool.
Oh, there you go.
But no shit, like Monday morning, like I think it was after we recorded the podcast, I get a phone call from the promoter. He's like, "Would you like to fight it? Would you like to fight again?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'd really rather not think about it the fucking day or two after this fight happens. Like, can I sleep in?" You realize that I didn't have a holiday. I took a week off just so I could be left alone.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, maybe we could do a rematch." I'm like, "I don't know, man." Like, I repeatedly said, "I don't know." He's like, "Okay, well, maybe we can look at doing September of next year for a rematch." And I'm like, fucking September? That's a year away. That's a full year almost. I'm like, "I don't know, man." It's like, "Well, if you want to do it, we can go ahead. You can come in this week and, excuse me, he's like, we can sign a contract." I'm like, "A fucking contract for a fight a year from now?" Nah. I was like, "Nah, man, I got to go. I'll talk to you later." And just hung up. It's like, I just want to fucking lay around in my hammock and fucking just drink beer during the day. Is that too much to ask? Like, I'm sorry. What, was there like really that much? And I feel bad for the dude, man, because like, am I gonna go off on a tangent of people? Yeah, absolutely. So I want you to listen to this, and maybe I will not be invited back to fight for this organization again. But being on the other side of it, it's really shady sometimes. Like how easy people flip flop from who they want their boy to be or whatever. Daniel's done a lot of fights and stuff, and looking through the pictures, somebody else pointed out, is like, you realize the guys that are on your side of the picture after you won were on his side of the picture before the fight. I'm like, that's fucked up, man. That is so fucked up. Like, you can't just jump sides like that. Come on, dude.
Pretty much like everyone knew who this guy was, and like he had some fights between him, and they probably wanted him to win, and then you went out there and you did your thing, and now they're probably like, oh shit, well we gotta figure something out.
Yeah.
Hoping that he'll win again or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it just to me, it's like I feel like the stress of it is way too much for. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I keep saying that. You know, I don't. I kind of don't want to be a one and done guy, but there's a lot of stuff I need to reevaluate, need to look at, and you know,
But
it's.
preferably, would you want to fight someone else though?
Oh,
I would
absolutely,
assume you'd want to fight someone else, not fight the
absolutely,
same
man.
guy, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to wait a year to fight the dude I just beat. Like that's like realistically, if I want to fight again, that makes zero fucking sense.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to like I can't believe like I have to sit down with my coaches. Let's see what's going on. You know, let's see what the other organizations look like. You know, and then we'll go from there. But you know, I need to probably need to start like a real serious training. The only thing I did was jujitsu, a little bit of weightlifting, and boxing. Did a shitload of boxing since I've been back. I did a lot of Muay Thai while I was in Arizona. I did a lot of Muay Thai with Christian, Toby, and Max and John. But you know, I worked a lot of boxing while I was in Wiesbaden. So you know, I need a diet, man. I keep saying that shit, but dude, when I looked at the picture, I'm like, fuck, I look like shit, dude. Like, it felt great, but I looked like shit.
Fucking die is the hardest part,
It is,
man.
man. And I was feeling pretty good. Like, what was funny too is at the weigh-in, I weighed right like 1 kilo under, and that was Steve was like, make sure you eat this, this, and this, and fuck it, drink a whole gallon of water before you get here. So I showed up, like wanted to piss my brains out, and just stood on the scale, and I was like, yeah, sweet, that's good. But it's all
Did you
good.
guys have to have like a? Did you guys meet at a certain weight?
He, so the deal was, I was actually cutting to 105 kilograms,
Uh,
and then like I want because there's some like loss in communication here too, just like sometimes the language barrier is too much, and you know I was pretty close, and then this is like a month out, and then the dude was like, let me just double check. Christian said, let me double check, and called up the promoter. He said, no, it's actually up to 120. So I was like, he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, this is up to 120. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have to cut anything, dude. You're in even worse trouble now, man. Whatever,
fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
whatever. But yeah, you know, I don't know, man. The stress of it, dude, it's wild. Like the fight was less stressful. Like me getting, like being on the ground with him trying to punch my face in, trying to submit me was way less stressful than like everything. Everything else was like afterwards, absolutely not. That was not stressful because I was just like, thank the fuck Christ it is over. I'm so happy this shit is over. And like this, like leading up to it, it's rough, dude. It's real rough, especially for the first time. But now I know what to expect, so it might not be so bad.
That's true. You got like kind of like you felt the lights and everything already, so you're like, all right, the whole lead up to the camp and everything. You're like, all right, you might it might be feel more familiar. The Hickson, I think it was Hickson. Don't quote me, anyone listening, if it wasn't Hickson, but somebody who was a legend was pretty much saying the same thing that they're like, it's more exhausting having to be ready all the time, like because those guys were fighting like whenever anyone was ready to go. So, and that makes complete sense. It's probably like more exhausting just having to know you gotta fight somebody.
Yeah, it was like jujitsu class would be done, and Bruce, the boxing guy out here, I would like immediately. I love my students, man. I appreciate them so much because they would clean the mats for me. Usually, I want to clean the mats because it's my class. Like, I don't want to be like that guy. It's like, all right, who's the lowest rank? Well, it looks like you're cleaning the mats today. Like, no, you're a guest, and you're a guest, in my opinion. Like, if you're the lowest rank, you're a guest until the new person comes and they're the guest. But we all try to treat each other with respect. So I'll be like, shit, I need to go do boxing after I clean the mats. They'd be like, no, we got it. So they'd clean the mats for me, which I appreciate more than anything. I'd run over to Bruce, get like 30 minutes in of footwork and, some hard cardio, some hard boxing, spar a few times. And, he really, really helped me out. And I didn't want to mention too much on the podcast how much I did it because I did, it's weird. It's so
Yeah.
weird. I really didn't want to give away like what I was doing. And like I came from I was a striker way before, I was doing Muay Thai well before I did
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
And like that's why I felt good. I was like, all right, I have no stand-up training. That's cool. Like somebody said, like, Rob's stupid. He's never trained stand-up. I'm like, I want to be like, you piece of shit. I've done this before. Like, God, I want to scream that at the top of my lungs. I'm like, no, yeah, you're right. I probably should do more than just jujitsu. Like, that was the hardest part. Like, part of me just wants to be like, fuck you. I know how to strike.
No, I remember you telling me that too, right? You're like, hey, like I got this fight. You explain the situation, then you go, but I don't want them to know.
Yeah,
Like I'm training this right now, I'm training that. Like you want to keep it all like under wraps and make them think you're just doing jujitsu kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. So, but I think it worked out kind of maybe.
I think it worked out fine. I think it worked out great. You won the fucking belt, beat
Yeah,
the
it
shit
doesn't
out of
matter.
some
Oh, I
dude.
won. Who cares how, no damage to either of us.
No, no,
Well,
yeah,
well, no
right.
damage to me. How about that? No damage to me, at least. And we both were able to walk out of the ring, which is more important to me. And yeah, fuck it. We're done talking about this fight.
Yeah,
We can't take 2 weeks in a row talking about this fucking fight, man.
this is true. This is
Yeah,
true.
the
This is
hype,
true.
the hype has died down. However, I can't say to my wife, was it she asked me to do something? I said like, oh, the champ doesn't do housework. That didn't work out too well. I think she said something along the lines like, well, the champ's about to lose half his shit. So,
Yeah.
fuck, like, my bad. You need the trash
Can
out?
I
I
keep
got it. I got it.
can I keep the belt? Can I
Yeah.
keep the belt though?
It's like, yeah, I'll just only take half of it. I'm like, fuck. Nah, that was good.
God
She's pretty good at
damn.
comebacks like that, so I'll give her that. It was really good.
Good.
But man, so and for you now, you like I want to talk about your YouTube channel again because I like getting updates about it. I like having the listeners check out your shit as well. So 500,000 views, right?
I hit 500,000 last night. I was before I left to a family gathering, I was at like 400,098 something. I was like right there. And then I had a video that was going, waiting for YouTube to update. And I got home, updated, and I was at 500,000. I was like, my God, this is crazy. I thought I was gonna, well, I knew I'd reach it pretty quick, but yeah, guys, I hit 500,000 views on my YouTube channel. You go to YouTube, search me, I am Symphony. Also, if you guys are other brands out there, I'm not trying to whore us out or anything, but I will say this. Speaking of sponsors earlier, if you guys want to invest in people, I'm not saying particularly us, but I'm going to say us as an example. Invest in people. They don't always got to be the world champions like Buchecha and Leangelo. They could be the people that are investing into the community
Yeah.
and bringing awareness to the sport, like Rob or myself, who are pretty much bringing cool content and some entertaining stuff other than outside of matches. Because let's be honest, jiu-jitsu people don't only watch jiu-jitsu matches all day. Sometimes they listen to big jiu-jitsu. Sometimes they watch YouTube vlogs. Sometimes they look at funny memes. You know what I mean? So if you guys are a jiu-jitsu company, or even if you're a startup and you guys sell like shirts and stuff like that, like I said, not just us, but just if you guys are looking to get your product out there, kind of take a blueprint out of Breakpoint's book and invest in your consumers. That'll be the quickest way to grow.
Yeah, like
That was
uh,
kind of like,
no, that was real fucking deep, man. I love that. No, you guys don't have to sponsor us. I don't like it, but I know it might have been a
you
little
were
too quiet.
just
But we
saying.
might just say no. We have two great sponsors for this. Trap and Roll Soap,
Yeah, definitely.
beautiful, beautiful company, and then Tape Armor. Dude, my fingers are so much more appreciative these days. But if you are a startup company out there and you see somebody who's like, hey, I like their attitude, I like their positive energy or whatever, please try to invest in them because it does make a world of difference when I remember being the startup white belt dude, couldn't even afford a gi, and like my coach let me borrow one, and I felt like $1,000,000, like just because he let me borrow it. So now imagine you hook some dude up, you throw him like your entry line gi, whatever, and then they've got a gi now, so you're gonna make them like pee their pants. It's important. I mean, it's a big deal, and look for people that do invest in the community, not just the guys who just want to compete or kind of just whore themselves out to social media for like I'm the next Buchecha, like You fucking 7. Calm down.
I
That's your
know.
parents making that. That's your parents making that Instagram post.
You're a 14-year-old green belt.
No,
Come on now.
and I love the kids. I love the kids
Oh,
that
so do I. Yeah,
that are
definitely.
like just badasses. But sometimes the parents are a little nuts. So it's like ask a 7-year-old like, I like grappling. I like grappling. Like Ava, she was at the school. I have a video on my Facebook in Arizona, and she was just like would not stop laughing ever. Like I think every time I see her, she's just laughing and giggling. And like she kicked ass this past weekend. So like that stuff like that makes me real happy. And her
Your
parents
team
support.
was beasting it up, huh?
Yeah, they were fucking killing it, dude. So and then we had the tournament in Hamburg, which was a no it was a time limit, but it was a submission only tournament, and they did real good too. But this past weekend there's a lot of tough people fighting, man. And I told myself I wouldn't do shit. I was like, I'm not doing shit, dude. Like, why don't you compete? Not doing shit. Sorry, ain't happening. It's like I'll roll a little bit, but that's it. I ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
I made a promise to myself I wasn't gonna do shit. Just let the body recover a little bit, and then we'll keep moving. But
For real.
man, so I'm getting sick of this fucking cold weather, man. I wanted to start looking at doing outside jiu-jitsu as well, but
Dude, that's crazy. But it's because you live over there. See, when you live in California, you're like, fuck, I'm ready for summer to be done with. Like,
summer. Oh yeah,
I'm ready
what
for that cold shit over
done within
here.
what January? Is that when summer's finished in California
Fuck,
finally?
right? I hope. Shit. I hope. I hate sitting down in my car, my ass and my lower back are sweaty off the bat already. And I'm like thinking, like, fuck, am I walking around with like wet stains on my butt right
Oh,
now? Like,
dude.
I'm at the gym and I haven't even started working out. I'm already sweaty.
That's the worst feeling, man. You got a little bit of the swaggy. Can't even do swaggy. A little bit of the swaggy butt. Now you got a soggy ass. And like, you sit down in a vinyl chair and you're like, oh shit. Like you feel it on your back too. I hate that feeling.
Dude, I hate it. That's fucking terrible.
And I'm the type of guy that sweats when people like I watch people exercise. So like if I eat hot food, I sweat. If I like, it's just the way I am. So like, it isn't hard for me to cut like 7-8 pounds of water weight in a class. It's like keep going. I'm just drenched. Like yeah, I'm good. Feel good, but I'm just fucking soaking wet.
Dude, that's like how I am, but it's heck awkward looking when I sweat because like if I sweat, I want to be able to sweat throughout my entire body. I literally only sweat like pounds of water out my armpits, my ass, my lower back. So like it just looks way worse rather than having like a fully wet t-shirt. It's
Yeah.
only between my arms.
Oh
It's
shit.
terrible. It's terrible.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. You can't really go talk to the ladies with nothing but like just terribly sweaty pits, man. It has to be like the whole shirt. I think you need to like hit the water fountain real quick, right? Do the pat down real quick. Like, all right, I'm even. Just,
My friend that pissed his pants in the third grade, he pissed it 4 times, right? And
wow.
by the second time he did that, he went in the bathroom and he put water all over his pants so that they were entirely wet.
That's a fucking genius right there.
I know. I was like, man, this guy's an innovator, dude.
Like, he's like, shit, pissed myself. Like, I know some kids just pee their pants, and
For real.
it was like the super Billy Madison. Instead of Billy Madison throwing the water on his pants, like he just said, "Fuck it," just
Cover
soaked
the
the
whole
whole thing.
thing.
Fucking, that's
He's
a
like,
smart guy right there.
seriously. He was like, fuck you, Mother Nature. Not today. Not
Yeah.
today.
Oh, I spilled water all over my pants. Like you're fucking genius,
Yeah.
dude. Genius, man. So on that pee pants story, before we head out, you got any shout outs you want to give, Devin?
Guys, just shout out to myself, guys. Mainly just my YouTube, honestly. Honestly, shout out to my YouTube. This is something I'm actually proud about. Like, this whole social media thing is a lot of work, but YouTube it's still new to me, and it's one of my big accomplishments in my, you know, personal, personal life because it's such a big platform, and I'm actually kind of proud about it. But yeah, guys, go subscribe. I am Symphony. Other than that, shout out to Mackenzie Dern. Shout out to everyone that competed at NABJJF. If we came off like we were like trying to go off about the tournament, we definitely were. I think we were pretty good about it. But also shout out to all you guys for competing.
Yeah, I definitely did want to make it feel like, fuck this tournament, fuck its legitimacy. It just seems like it was shady as well. And then there was concern. I want to bring it up and we need to talk about it. So, but
Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. Member of the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Don't forget to go to podbros.com. Find yourself another podcast you want to listen to. And don't forget to go to bigjujitsu.com. Find some of our older episodes, as well as possibly buy a shirt and or a patch. And check out our sponsors, Trap and Roll Soap Company and Tape Armor. I'm Rob.
I'm done.
We'll catch you guys next time.